welcome back to the Breaker Bros. We're doing our instant reaction to the Bengals 41-38 loss to the Ravens. And it was kind of what you said. The
Yeah,
Bengals offense had to outplay the Ravens, but I mean, at least they scored. All the
yeah,
way
the
up
offense
until they
looked
threw
good.
that pick.
Yeah, yeah, that pick was pretty bad. I mean, he was not open at all. It was a bad decision. Bad decision. I don't know. I mean, the other thing is like, did it felt like a lot of things weren't getting called. So I don't know if that was pass interference and they just decided not to call any of them in the game. But I don't know what it looked like on TV.
Wait, which one?
On the interception, I thought Humphrey was like holding them.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's weird because it seems like the whole reason why the Bengals got called pass interference against the Chiefs was because they had contact before the ball got there, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't that the whole reason? And
yeah.
there was, it seemed like there were several times where there was a lot of contact, but it could have been one of those plays where it was within the 5 yards. But I mean, regardless, it was a bad pass. It was uh, at that point in the game, I was kind of confused why they didn't just run. Because at the very least, if you run, you have them waste another timeout, regardless if you get any yards or not. I think they were at the 30-yard line. And
Yeah,
then worst case scenario, you kick a field goal. And I think at that point, there might only have been a minute and a half,
yeah,
maybe
which
more than
may
that.
not have been enough time to stop a touchdown, but I don't have a problem with them throwing it. I mean, Burrow's supposed to be the best player on the team, so
I mean, with that
he's
said, he
better
had a
than that.
really good game. He had 5
Yeah,
touchdowns, and Jamar Chase had
yeah,
a really
but
good
it's just
game.
like you can't make that mistake and win the game with the way the defense is playing right now. It's just they can't afford any mistakes. I mean, and they had two mistakes, and they cost them the game. And really, I thought that they were going to win because I thought that sequence with the punt that got down and then the safety. I thought,
Yeah,
that
yeah, that
that
was
was
a
going
big
to be
turning
enough.
point right there.
I thought that was going to be enough. And Harbaugh, like, I don't know what he was doing at the end of the first half. I thought he was trying to lose the game, or it didn't make any sense what he was doing. And then the Bengals made him pay for it. But at the end, you can't give up 3 points at the end of the game. And I mean, even if you throw that pass, or say you take the sack, even right, or you spike it into the ground. I mean, any of those outcomes are better than giving up a pick there, because at least you feel good about getting 3 points. But I don't know. It's just I don't have any answers for what's what the team's doing. It feels like what's going to happen is once they get close to being mathematically eliminated, they'll probably go on a little run and then finish kind of about like they did last year. Is what it feels like. But I don't know. What are your thoughts about the game?
Well, I mean, it was interesting because it's like the Ravens got the ball and they had that long drive that we were hoping that the Bengals would have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Bengals get the ball, and I think they go 3-and-out or something like that. Because I don't know, they did a weird play where I guess they tried to put Higgins in motion, and then I guess Hamilton like kind of disrupted it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And their first offensive series didn't look good. I was like, oh, here it goes, because right away it didn't look like the defense was going to stop him. But then I feel like they did after that. And then I think the offensive scores, and they tied the game. But it was like the offense didn't really get going until I would say the second half. But once they did, it was just like they couldn't be stopped. It was just like they kept on having all these explosive plays. And then I think in the second half, I mean, all the way until he threw that pick, like I think he converted all of his third downs. Burrow. So I mean, yeah, he had that really bad pick. He had a really good game, and I mean, he was right. He basically had to play damn near perfect to win that game, and that one pick was pretty costly. But I mean, there was many other things you can look back and kind of say they could have done better, like that hold and with the snap at the very end. But
Yeah, Yeah, I didn't like the sequence leading up to that. I'm fine with running it 3 times, but I'm not fine with like not running your base offense to run it 3 times. The Bengals are not that kind of team, you know. Chase Brown is not that kind of back, and that's the Ravens' strength traditionally. So I would have much preferred them to, try to run it out of the shotgun with 3 wide receivers than try to run
Real
it
quick,
with 3
before I
tight
forget,
ends.
was it pretty loud there?
Yeah, it got pretty loud towards the end.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they.
it was pretty. I mean, like with the big momentum swings, it was real loud and a lot of fun. And then, at the end, it got quiet, except for some of the Baltimore flocks started chirping. You could hear them all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was just a crazy game. They definitely got to figure something out on the defense, and it was weird because like in pretty much all the way up until overtime, I felt like their tackling looked pretty good. It seemed like they came out, they didn't really give up that many big plays in terms of the run. I didn't think.
Yeah, except they couldn't tackle Lamar Jackson. It's sort of like the opposite of Roethlisberger. Remember how like Roethlisberger, like a defensive end would get to him and they'd be too small to tackle him. Now we get there with like an end and they're too big to tackle Lamar. I feel like if you're going to sack that guy, you need to do like a corner blitz or something. Have someone small and fast enough to keep up with them.
Well, the thing I never understand, and to be fair, I'm not an NFL player going against another elite athlete in the NFL, but I just don't understand why they don't just wrap the waist. Well, I guess they don't want to get called with that whatever penalty that is, but I mean, for me, it's like you just grab his waist and just try to bring him down legally, because at the very least, you're gonna even if he tries to throw it, at best he's gonna throw it 15 or 20 yards.
Yeah.
But most likely, if no one's open, he's going to take a sack, right? But I feel like they're always so worried that he's going to break the big play that they overthink it, and it's like he just slips right off. But then again, he's obviously much stronger than what people realize. Like, he does it to everyone.
I feel like that's the Bengals' overall problem, is that they overthink things, and they do cute things that end up not working, when just being straightforward would be fine. So,
well, I mean, the one thing with the offense, and the thing that I noticed, and I'm surprised you haven't been like yelling about this yet, they did not respect the Ravens DBs. I didn't think, because like I feel like after they scored that touchdown to tie the game, I feel like the defense had like another 3 and out, and that was the time where it's like, okay, let's have this long drive, slow it down, take the lead. And then I think they tried to throw it up to T. Higgins. And to be fair, I feel like T. Higgins should have caught that pass. It was a difficult catch, but I feel like those are the catches that he's known for. And I feel like he should have brought that down. But I mean, regardless, it's just like, why didn't we go back to the run at that point? Start picking that back up. And why are we doing these things that are like killing our momentum? But to be fair, it was just like, I think they knew that they were outmatched in the secondary, because I mean there were so many explosive plays. I feel like Yosavash had a pretty big play. Chase had his 2 big plays. I mean, one was I think the 40-yard touchdown pass, but the other one was like a screen that he took it to the house. But I mean, Gesicki, he had that catch on the sideline that was pretty big. But yeah, I mean, there was just so much confidence that they had. But they also did things that I feel like killed the momentum or prevented them from having a rhythm all the way up until they had gotten to the second half. But yeah, I guess when you get to the crucial moment, that's where I feel like Zach Taylor can still learn a little bit. Because, like again, at the end of the game, if he just runs, because I think the interception was on a second down, or was it a third down?
I feel like it's second down.
Yeah, like in my head, you just run twice, because at the very least, they'll be out of timeouts. And if you kick the field goal,
I won't blame Zach Taylor for that. I mean, you put the ball in Burrow's hands, you expect him to win the game for you.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, that's you make the field goal there.
That was a Carson Palmer type mistake that Burrow made there. It's just like, don't force the ball. 2nd down and 9. Throw it out the back of the end zone. It's like you're gonna have to take the point. You can't give up points.
I guess shout out to Hubbard. he had a pretty good game, especially in the
Yeah.
first half.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
looked
think he did
great.
much in the second half, but
He was pretty active. I mean, he was making plays. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if they could have actually sacked Lamar Jackson on the few times they pressured him instead of giving up touchdowns,
yeah,
I guess by math that would be a pretty different game. But
that's
it's just
consequential. Yeah,
it's just bad timing because the defense obviously was, had a huge rash of injuries and still trying to get up to form. And then you play the Ravens, who probably their strength is our weakness. So, but I don't know. I guess all in all, it's just a bad loss, bad day. I mean, it was a nice day, but
I mean, overall, it was. Very stressful, but I mean, when you look back, it was a very fun game from start to finish. It was just like you didn't know what to expect, but definitely a game that I guess ironically that the Bengals kind of fumbled away. I mean, it's not really a fumble, but they botched the snap. I feel like that.
yeah,
I mean, and to be fair, it was a bad snap because it was kind of I guess to his right,
yeah.
and then yeah, I mean, he should be able to put it down still,
I
but
just feel like you um, set up an offense you don't run and call those timeouts. I feel like you're icing your own kicker, and in this case, you're icing your own like special teams, right? Like the long snapper, the holder, the kicker. They have to sit there and think about it as they watch and see that you're not trying to score a touchdown, that you're just going to put it all on them. And I just think it's too much leverage to put on them. To me, just run your normal offense. If you're going to run it. But line up how you normally line up. That's what I mean by like Zach Taylor getting cute. It's like, you put in your heavy package, you're just not good at it, So it's cute that you're doing it, but it doesn't help. I feel like the run's way more effective if you have Chase on the field because the safety has to respect him and watch him. But if you take him off the field and put in 3 tight ends, everybody's just screaming to stop the run. Everybody's just going to be screaming to the point of contact, or the point of exchange with the ball. But if
to be fair,
Chase
the
out there,
Ravens' defensive line is pretty good. It's not like they're.
I know.
Yeah, I guess you got to play to your strengths. I wish they would use the tight ends a little bit more, especially towards the end of the game, or especially at the end of the game. That's when you got to incorporate like Charlie Jones or maybe Yosavash and like do those little trick. Not I wouldn't say trick plays, but maybe more like a gadget play where you get him open in the open field, and at the very least you get 3 or 5 yards. You could possibly break one. Because that's what the defense is not going to be prepared about, is because they don't prepare for Charlie Jones or I guess Burton.
Just try to get like a short completion for 3 or 4 yards. I feel like that's what their offense is set up to do. So that's what they should try to do, or at least make the defense defend those options, right? Because if you line up like you normally do, they're going to have their defense on to cover that. And if you go like full, like goal line package, well, their goal line package is a strength of theirs, and it's just not a strength of the Bengals since Zach Taylor's been around.
Did you see McKinley Jackson at all?
Yeah, I saw him. I remember when he first came in. I mean, he didn't look like he was doing too much. But I could see like a big knee brace on him, so maybe he's just trying to get back into football shape.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I didn't see him make any impactful plays.
Well, I think Jenkins had a few good plays where he was like at least in the backfield, constant pressure, and then I think he had another pretty decent stop on a run play.
Yeah.
Did he look good on your end?
I think overall the defense looked pretty good stopping Derrick Henry. The problem was the other bad part of the defense where they can't tackle quarterbacks and cover in the back end. So, Lamar Jackson just destroyed them. And to be fair, Lamar Jackson was wildly inaccurate. Like, he was missing wide open dudes like for most of the first half. And I mean, if he were just a little bit more on, I mean, it's hard to say, but if he was a little bit more on, I think they would have scored even more points.
It's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I mean, Burrow's a really good quarterback. He's almost as good as whoever gets to play against the Bengals defense.
Yeah, I mean, he's practically been keeping up. I mean, obviously we haven't had the wins that we were hoping for. But I mean, if you look at pretty much every game, I think every game has been within one score. So it's not like the Bengals are getting blown out. But at the same time, it's just like they got to get over these silly mistakes.
Yeah,
and then
I mean,
capitalize
we're
when it
the
matters
best
the most.
last place team in the NFL.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's until they're mathematically out. But I mean, really, for them especially, they just got to take it one week at a time. And luckily for them, they still have a pretty friendly schedule. So I feel like, but yeah, I mean, they got to make a run at some point. It's got to start now.
I feel like the teams that we're going to play that we say is an easy schedule for us, I feel like we're to the point now where the other team's like, oh, well, we got the Bengals, so that's a win.
Yeah, the defense, I feel like at least offensively, the opponents have no fear. But
yeah,
at least Bengals offensively, I mean, they pretty much look elite. They look really good.
Yeah,
I mean, the Ravens' defense is not a bad defense.
Ravens have a good defense.
And I know you don't want to hear this, but I don't think Washington's that bad. I mean, they waxed the Browns. I mean, they made them look horrible. I know it's the Browns, but I knew going into the season, a lot of people thought the Browns were going to be pretty decent.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Washington's probably a little bit better than we thought.
Yeah, not the Patriots. I'll take that one back, but
yeah,
Washington though.
Yeah.
But yeah, the defense is really something they got to figure out, and then just don't get too cute with it, really.
Yeah, stop being cute. The other thing that seemed weird is that like almost on every single completion, like except for like the weird run around crazy plays, but there are so many completions where it looked like there wasn't even a Bengals corner within like 5 or 6 yards of the Ravens guy when they caught the ball.
Yeah, because I feel like on their second touchdown, the Ravens, for whatever reason, I think Geno Smith blitzed when he wasn't supposed to. I think he was supposed to stay on that the receiver that scored that touchdown.
Yeah, no,
I
saw that too.
Yeah, so
Geno Smith might be part of the problem, I think.
Yeah, I don't suspect he's going to make it past the season. I think they're going to have to deal with him, but he was definitely, he's definitely cuttable. If you
like, I don't know that I don't see how it's possible that he's better than Jordan Battle.
I don't know. I still like Dejon Anthony. I feel like
they got to try something because it's
because he's more of a coverage safety. Like, if you need someone to drop back, I feel like Dejon Anthony. I know there's a lot of Battle fans out there, but
yeah, I feel like they just need to make a change, almost for the sake of making a change, because it's been so bad.
Oh yeah, another thing about Dejon Anthony, he's the one that stopped the ball at the 1. Like, it was a really nice punt, and he got there. But I just feel like he covers so much ground. Like, on that penalty against the Chiefs, I think he ran at least 40 yards to get to where he could have a penalty, right? And then on that punt, that fake punt last week, he covered a lot of ground. Not as much as the Chiefs game, but I don't know. He seems like he's a natural ball hawk, and I feel like you just have him drop, over the top to make sure you don't get beat.
I'm willing to try anybody because they need something.
Well, I mean, at this point, you got to look at it like it can't get worse, right? It's just like
it's hard to be worse than allowing a touchdown every single possession. So,
yeah, that is crazy. It really minimizes all what the offense is actually doing right now.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the offense can't have those mistakes or whatever, even on special teams. But at the same time, like they put up 38 points against the Ravens defense. My God, like, like you, yeah. There's a, I feel like, I mean, what can they do right now? I don't know much as far as their defensive schemes. I guess they can try to get really
Well,
exotic with it.
Well, I think the first thing is to look at who can sit and who can get some more playing time.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the defensive line is going to start to get a little bit better over the next few weeks because you have more players. Hopefully, Rankins comes back soon, so now your rotation is more intact, and then I think the rookies will come along, and you might be pretty okay at that spot. But the secondary is what really alarms me. They just don't seem to be able to cover anybody.
Yeah, I mean, they always give up that big play. I think another little key thing, especially with the DPs, was that Dax Hill, he got hurt, I think, at some point in the second quarter. And that's when all those big coverages things start happening. Because I think the backups weren't really prepared with some of the things that the Ravens were doing. And it showed. So, I mean, I know that they called him out early. I think they said he had a knee issue, which is sucks because, I mean, he was our best corner.
Yeah. That's the problem when your defense is bad. They start to get hurt. They can't get off the field.
And then Mims got hurt, but I saw that he came back. So that was nice to see. It was just scary because he was carted off. It looked like he got kicked in the leg.
I thought I saw him get like his top of his foot stepped on. So I thought maybe it was like, I don't know what you call it.
Oh, okay.
Get cleats into the. That's what it looked like to me from my view, because he was trying to walk it off, and they were like, "No, just stay down."
Well, I probably was looking at the wrong thing because, like, on his other leg, the guy that was falling down was like getting tossed or whatever was happening. He was rolling over, and his leg kind of like whipped into his other leg.
Oh, okay.
And I think it made his ankle buckle because I think they said he had an ankle issue. So
okay,
I think somehow he sprained his ankle, or I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah, it was just like a really weird freak play. Because like when I saw it, I was like, "What the heck?" But then, I think he finished the game, so that was nice to see. It's just like we don't have to worry about our offense. It's just more or less the defense has got to figure something out. If they can just get literally 3 or 4 stops, and we win a game.
Yeah, or even just slow them down a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, like there was one drive
forced field goals,
sort of like 3 plays or something.
Oh yeah. They had like 2 possessions where they just scored really quickly, and it was just holy crap. Like,
that tight end was clocked at 18.9 miles an hour.
Jeez, and he cooked Bell. That's not a good sign, dude. Bell is basically a linebacker. That's even for a linebacker, he might even be slow. That's
but 18.9 miles per hour. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I would say for a tight end for sure.
Yeah, well, for the whole game, he was the 4th fastest clock time of the game, 4th or 5th. Like, Jamar Chase had the top 2. He was like
it's just I feel like in week 5, and again, I'm not a NFL defensive coordinator, but I mean, we know our tendencies, right? So it's like, especially when you have people like Bell that are not at their fastest, you can't put them in a position where they're going to get cooked like that. Like, there's got to be. But again, I guess it kind of goes back. I think that at that point, Dax Hill was out, so I think that kind of limits them in what they want to do. But I don't know. I'm hoping he can come back, and hopefully it's not a long-term thing. But they called him out early, like he walked back to the locker room, and a few minutes later they confirmed that he was out for the rest of the game. They said it was a knee. So that's looking good for Dax Hill.
No.
It was, when we were looking at it, is statistically the best. Well, according to PFF.
Yeah,
our
highest graded corner by PFF.
Yeah. So from their perspective, he does his job. at that
Yeah,
percentage.
I don't know how you can tell, but sure.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing I can hope is that at the very least, hopefully they're consistent with their grading across the NFL. So as long as there's no bias, then you can take the
Yeah.
grading
No, I
somewhat
was
seriously.
just
But
joking. I was just making fun of the defense for being so bad. I don't know how you could tell anybody was good.
yeah, it was weird. It was just, yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, Hubbard looks like he's back. BJ Hill looked pretty good.
Yeah,
So I mean, maybe they could put it together against like a worse team because Baltimore's pretty good. So
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
mean, it would have been huge if they got that win. I think they would have technically been second in the division, but you can't really dwell on it. And hopefully they can eventually start a win streak. I mean, they got to start now.
Yeah, now's the time.
Yep. Was there anything you want to add to this the stream or?
No, I don't think so. You want to say anything, Ryan? No.
Still replaying all those in my head.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I guess all the way up until the fourth quarter, until the end, it was a pretty good game, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good game. It's hard to say it wasn't a good game. There are lots of huge plays, lots of momentum shifts. I mean, it's one of those games where if you win, you almost call it a classic game, but as the loser, it hurts.
Yep.
To think about.
Like getting kicked in the nuts. So.
Yeah, very much so. All right, yeah.
All right, man. Peace.
Yeah, see ya.